recording.
All right, we're recording. Well, welcome to Brand Champ and this training that we're going to go through today. I'm going to set us up for about 15 to 20 minutes and talk a little bit about Miracle Restaurant Group and Arby's. And then you're going to get some specific Arby's training, and it's going to be a good day. Brand Champ is something new for Arby's, and it's new for us. Training, but with a different focus. It's going to be fun. We already had donuts, and it's important. The fact that we've gathered all of you here today and paying you indicates that it's important. It's going to be an important day. It's going to be important because you're going to gain knowledge about us, about the restaurant business, and about Arby's. Have you ever heard the expression, knowledge is power? Ever heard that? It's a little bit true. Knowledge is power. Knowledge that's kept to yourself isn't very powerful, but knowledge that you share is often very powerful. So this is important. You're going to get some knowledge today, and as a result, you're going to be more comfortable in your job with us, and you're going to be more successful. Who is us? Do your friends ever ask you who you work for? What do you say? When people say, Eric, where do you work? What do people say? What do you say?
I say I work at Arby's.
So you work at Arby's.
Yeah.
What do you say? At Arby's. What do you say? Okay. Well, you work in an Arby's, but you actually work for Miracle Restaurant Group. Miracle Restaurant Group. We're the company that operates Arby's, one of the companies that operates the Arby's business here in the Chicago area. So when I talk about us, I'm talking about two different things. I'm talking about Arby's, which is the brand that we operate in. Just like McDonald's is a brand, Taco Bell is a brand, Arby's is a brand. But Miracle Restaurant Group is a company. And for your paychecks, if you ever look at them, they say Miracle Restaurant Group. They are also signed by me. I'm Don Moore. I'm the guy that signs all of your paychecks. So Arby's and Miracle Restaurant Group, how do we work together? Well, there's a word called affiliated. We are affiliated with each other, but we're not the same as. We share common goals with each other, but we also have independent goals. And since today is about goals, I wanted you to know the goals of Miracle Restaurant and the goals of Arby's, because they're close, but they're not exactly the same. Companies are a lot like people. Probably haven't thought about this. Companies have a birth date. Companies have a day they die. Companies go out of business. Radio Shack, gone out of business. There's some other companies, they go out of business. They have a purpose for being in existence. People say, you know, they form a company to do this and that. Apple, why did they form their company? To communicate, to open up a world of possibilities. IBM opened up their company for businesses to get together and use machines, international business machines. Okay, so there's a purpose for companies. They also develop a personality. Like our little company likes donuts. I don't know if you can tell. But we're in the Arby's group. But we did once upon a time have Dunkin' Donuts as a brand as well. And companies exhibit values and behaviors. So companies are a lot like people. Miracle Restaurant Group, this company, was born on August 1st, 2005. We're not all that old. Miracle Restaurant Group is a partnership. There's a lot of different legal forms that a company can take. We're a partnership, even though we're called a limited liability company. But we're treated as a partner. I'm the managing partner. I have other partners. They're not active in the business, but I am. I'm the chief executive officer of the company, and I sign your paychecks, and I make a lot of decisions. Some are good, some are not so good, and we move on. I'm active in the business, and we currently own and operate 25 Arby's restaurants in 5 different states. We're in Texas, we're in Mississippi, Louisiana, Indiana, and Illinois. That's Miracle Restaurant Group. Arby's was born in 1964 in Boardman, Ohio by Leroy and Forrest Raffle. The Raffle brothers. Did you ever wonder where the name Arby's came from? It's not roast beef, Raffle brothers. The Raffle brothers, Arby's. Arby's has had many ownership changes. Currently, it's owned by a company in Atlanta called Roar Capital. Roar Capital is in the business of owning other companies. That's the business that they do. We're in the business of operating restaurants. They're in the business of owning other companies. They own Corner Bakery here. They own Corner Bakery. They own Schlotzsky's Deli. They own McAllister's Deli. They own Hardee's. They own Carl's Jr., Cinnabon. They own a lot of different companies. Arby's is one of the biggest companies they own, although I think Hardee's and Carl's Jr. is maybe bigger. Arby's as a company both operates restaurants, just like we do, and they franchise the operation of restaurants to companies like us. So we're called a franchisee. We get the right for a fee to learn their recipes, to learn their methods of operation, and to carry on business as Arby's. So they make money by letting us be Arby's restaurants. So today you're going to learn more about how Arby's sees itself in the world, its purpose, why it's here, and how I see Miracle Restaurant Group. But more importantly, what's in it for me? What's in it for you? Have you ever heard that phrase, W-I-I-F-M? You talk to people, but at the end of the day, it's what's in it for me. That's nice, but what's in it for me? And that's okay, nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, what's in it for you is you're going to leave here better equipped to be successful. That's what we do. Now, another question. Have you ever wondered if what you do really matters in the big scheme of things? Has that ever crossed your mind? Yeah, we got to work. Does it really matter? I've been in a lot of different businesses because I'm getting old. I've been in a lot of businesses. I delivered newspapers. Hard to say if I thought that was important because there aren't many newspapers that are being delivered anymore. But a long time ago, that's what I started at. I was a musician. Go figure. Yeah, I got your look. Yeah, old dude. But yeah, I was a musician. I was a CPA. I've been in the restaurant business. I've been a lot of things. And along the way, I kind of wondered, does it really matter? In 100 years, will anybody ever care that I delivered newspapers in Lexington, Kentucky, other than me? You ever wonder, does anybody care what you do behind the counter? It's a valid question. So now I'm going to ask for some feedback. What kind of things matter to make a life different? What would matter? What makes a life important? I can call on you or you can offer. What would make someone's life important? What would make someone's life important? Who's been an important person in your life?
Children.
I can't hear.
Children.
Children can make a life important. That makes sense? Yeah. That's good. What else? What else would make a life important? You in the back, I can always walk back there. What would make a life important?
Family.
Family. Now we're getting somewhere. Family can make a life important. Although not everybody has pleasant family memories, but the family can be a very important thing. What else would make a life important? When you think of careers, what's an important career?
Work for support your family and your kids.
Work.
Money?
Work, yeah.
Yeah, work is, we work for money so that we can support our family and kids. How about a scientist? Is a scientist important? How about Drew Brees? Drew Brees an important guy? Kind of, sort of. Tiger Woods was important once, not so maybe. All right, so personalities. How about
Being happy.
Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt important?
No.
How about his wife?
Yeah.
Okay, his wife is important. Angelina.
Just being happy in general matters.
Being
Being happy.
happy matters. Very good answer. Having something Something that when you go home, your tummy doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
right? When you go home, you feel kind of good about your day. Okay. There was a man, his name was John Wesley. John Wesley lived in the 1700s. He was the founder of the church called Methodist Church. If you drive around Chicago, you'll see a lot of United Methodist churches. There are a lot of churches. There are Baptist churches, Catholic churches, Presbyterian, Episcopalian. There's a lot of churches. John Wesley was the founder of the Methodist Church. When he was trying to determine what makes a life important, he said, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. Now that would be someone whose life maybe had some meaning, if you could actually do that, right? All the good, by all the means, all the ways, all the places, all the times, all the people, as long as you ever can. That's a pretty good reason. That actually might describe a lot of jobs. You know, we didn't say doctors. Doctors can be in that kind of position. They save lives, they help people, right? Nurses. What about people in the business of hospice care? Hospice is when you're dying. There's nothing more they can do for you. You're aware of what hospice is. So hospice nurses, specifically trained, will come and be with a family that's passing away. Some love. You think that's special training to watch someone dying, to give comfort and care? Well, it might describe a lot of jobs, but I think what John Wesley said also describes this business. And if that has never sunk into you before, start to think about it. Start to think about it. Hospitality. Hospitality. Hi, come on in. You can sit right there. That's okay. You won't see the board. Sit right there. Welcome. I'm Don. Have a seat. Hospitality is at the heart of Miracle Restaurant. Hospitality. And it's also at the heart of Arby's. Did you know that God thinks hospitality is pretty important? See a lot of looking down at the floor. I'm not going to get a lot of amen, brothers, but hospitality is very important. There's a Bible verse that talks about it. Go figure. In the book of Hebrews, which is a New Testament book, it says, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some people have entertained angels unaware. Did you ever think that the lady that was mad because you got her order wrong was an angel? Could have been. Sometimes things happen just to test us. You never know. This story is based upon an Old Testament story of a man named Abraham. Have you heard of Abraham? Have you? Abraham? Abraham is a man in the Bible who was the father of Islam. He was the father of Judaism. And he was the father of Christianity. Go figure. One guy. 3 main religions came out of one guy. They all interpret his life a little differently. Abraham was living with his family in this part of the old world. And he got a message from God. Come to a place I'm going to show you, and I will make a great nation of you. He was 100. He didn't have any kids. His wife was 90. They got up and they went. They went to where God showed them. One day, he was at his tent, because when you're 90 or 100, you're at your tent, man. I don't know what else you're doing, but you're kind of at your tent. And he looks out, and he sees coming 3 men. And he says, quick, to Sarah, his wife, quick, fix lunch. And so they prepare lunch. And he tells the men, he says, wait, let me give you something to eat. That's hospitality, right? And the men say, very well. So they wait. He prepares a nice lunch for them. He serves them food. Lo and behold, it's God and 2 angels that are having lunch with Abraham. And Abraham learns from God again, Abraham, you're going to have a son. This time next year, you're going to have a son. Sarah, who's in the tent, is listening. She's old. She laughs. God says, why did Sarah laugh? Right? You can laugh around God, but sometimes maybe not. And she says, she's all nervous. I didn't laugh. He said, oh, yes, you did. But this time next year, you'll have a son. And then he tells Abraham, I'm going to Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you heard of that city? And I've heard of the wickedness and the evil of Sodom and Gomorrah, and I'm going to go see for myself. Now, Abraham's nephew, a man named Lot, lived in Sodom. So Abraham begins this process with God where he bargains. He said, you're going to wipe out a whole city? Well, what if there's 100 people in there that are good? Would you wipe out a whole city if there's 100 people? God says, no, if there's 100 people there that are good, I won't wipe it out. Then he says, well, what about 90? If there are 90 in there, would you wipe it out? If there are 90, I'll leave it alone. Well, how about 80? And they keep working their way down. Till finally Abraham says to God, if there are 10 people in that city, would you wipe it out? Because he's thinking at least Lot is going to be good. And God says, no, if there's 10 people. And then they go on. Now it ends up there aren't 10 people in the city. There's only Lot, his 2 daughters, his wife, and their 2 husbands. That's it. That ain't 10. But the angels say, get out. So Lot and his family escape. Okay? And Sodom and Gomorrah is no more. But Lot is saved, and Abraham learns he's going to have a kid at an old age, all because he gave hospitality to God. Hospitality is important to God, it's important to me, and it's important in the big scheme of things. Okay. Now, I said earlier that companies are a lot like people. We have personalities. Our company's personality, now I'm talking about Miracle Restaurant Group, is reflected in our business purpose. Arby's also has a business purpose, and it's a good one, and you're going to learn about that as soon as I shut up here in a few minutes. Okay? But let me talk about Miracle. Our business purpose is simple. 2 points. Sow seeds of opportunity to our employees, that will be you, and to share the blessing of hospitality with our customers and the communities in which we do business. Let me ask you another question. You've given me one answer earlier, Gracie. Why work? Eric, why are you working? It's a good question.
To earn money.
To earn money. Nothing wrong with that. You working to earn money? Any other reasons? Hey, Jesus. I like the name. We were just talking about God. Jesus. Why do you work? For your needs? Okay. What other reasons? In the back, why are you working?
Education.
To get an education or to pay for your education? Okay. For your family? Why else do we work? Who said that? You, to achieve goals. So you set goals and work helps you get there. Excellent. What are other reasons we work? Because you're bored? Have nothing else better to do. Okay. I agree, that's good. Because you're bored. Yeah, because you're bored. All right. We work for a lot of different reasons. When I say that Miracle Restaurant Group is sowing seeds of opportunity to you in a work environment, what do I mean by that? The first thing I mean, and I want you to understand this, is an opportunity is not a gift. All it is an opportunity. It requires you to do something. Okay? Can I give you another story out of the Bible just for fun? Because they're very good for training. In this case, Jesus told this story. He told a story of 3 men that worked for another man. And the other man was immensely wealthy. Immensely wealthy. And he was going to go away for a while. And he wanted to leave his possessions in the control of his workers. To the first man, he gave something that was called 5 talents. A talent is an old word that means an immense amount of money. So just for argument, let's say it's $5 million. He says, here's $5 million. To the second man, he said, here's $2 million. And to the third man, he said, here's $1 million. And then he went away. the Bible and the story that Jesus told says he gave to each of them, while a different amount, it was still an immense amount of money. He gave according to their abilities. So maybe the person that had 5 million that was given to him was older, had more training or whatever. The person that had 2 million was going to do something with the 2. And the person that got 1 million, I mean, would you like $1 million? I'd like $1 million too. It wasn't my money, but to play with, right? So he gave according to their ability. The Bible says the man with 5 million went immediately and he put the money to work. And he earned 5 more million. So now there's 10 million. To the second man, he went to work immediately and he put the 2 million to work. And now there's 4 million. He got 2 million more. But the other man, the man that was given $1 million, he went immediately, dug a hole in the ground and put it in the ground. Didn't take it to the bank, didn't put it to work, he put it in the ground. Now some people think maybe he was thinking, this dude ain't never coming back, and I know where I buried this money, and in a little while when he doesn't come back, I know where the money is, and that's what I'm going to do. But for whatever reason, he didn't put the money to work. Well, lo and behold, the man comes back. And he gathers the 3 men, and he says, okay, to the man that I gave $5 million, tell me about it. He says, well, it's great news. I've earned 5 more million. That's 10 million here. And the man that owned all the money said, hallelujah, what a great thing. Come, celebrate. We'll share. To the man that he gave $2 million. The man said, this is great. I've got $4 million now. He said, great, come, share. To the man that got the 1 million, he said, well, you know, I heard that you were a difficult man to work for. I heard that you don't always play by the rules. I heard that sometimes you take what doesn't belong to you. So I was afraid of you. So I put the money in the ground. But here's your $1 million back. And the man that he worked for was pretty displeased. So he was fired in a lot of bad ways in the Bible. Because there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that is more harsh. But to the 2 that did well, he said, come, let's celebrate and give the $1 million that this one fella didn't do anything with to the man that has 10 now, and let's continue, okay? The point of that is the man in the story gave opportunity to 3 people. The people that were given the opportunity had to accept the opportunity. Then they had to act on the opportunity. But it was just an opportunity. They had to acknowledge that it was an opportunity. 2 of them did well, 1 didn't. So when I say I'm sowing seeds of opportunity to you, that's all it is. It's an opportunity. What you do with this opportunity in this job, that's kind of up to you. We're going to give you training like you're getting today. We're going to help you. We're going to coach you. We're going to try to treat you fairly. And a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity. If you don't want it, you won't do anything. So for starters, an opportunity is not a gift. What are some of the things that we offer? You all have to work for a paycheck. We offer you wages. We also offer fair and ethical treatment. That is true. You will come to find that's true. If you think we are not treating you fairly, you should talk about that with any of your area directors and ultimately to me, if necessary. We do treat people fairly. You're going to get training. Today is some of that. Training today. You've also already got training. Some of you are cashiers. Some of you are on the back line. Some of you are sandwich makers. You're getting training. That's how to do things. But you're getting knowledge too. That's more than training. Knowledge is kind of, how does all the training make sense? Why do we do it a certain way? Is there a reason for doing it this way? How can I apply what I learned here in some other job or in some other way? That's knowledge, and that's where power is, not how to. Knowledge is in power. Power is knowledge. And then you're going to get experience. All of you are getting experience. You have the opportunity for job satisfaction. You can approach this job as a hospitality job, eager to meet people, eager to meet co-workers, eager to see what you can do that will excel and make you feel good about yourself. And that would derive job satisfaction. You can do that. We offer that. We also offer you a way to gain discipline. Discipline is not what your parents used to do, or what, if you have children, you do to them. Discipline is an approach. Basketball players are disciplined. They practice. They work hard. World-class athletes are disciplined. Before the NBA game the other night, the first game, did you see Curry dribbling the ball? I mean, my goodness sakes, that is discipline. What he can do with the basketball, what Brady can do, or what Drew Brees can do with the football, that's discipline. So this is a way to gain discipline. I got to get up. I got to come to work. I've got to have the right attitude. That's all discipline. That's important for life. You have the chance to serve others, and I don't want you to lose that. That is, to be of service to others is a way to uplift others. It's encouraging. It is important work. You can serve others. I gave a seminar like this to some of my team members in Texas once, and it was a lousy situation. The market was a disaster. Okay, we had turnover, we had theft, we had all kinds of problems, and I'm trying to rebuild. I'm trying to encourage these people, my employees, and so I'm asking the question: who do we serve? And one young lady honestly said, I serve myself. I don't serve anybody else. I serve myself. Now that, spoken from that individual, from her heart, she must have had a hard life. Life must have been difficult for her, because all she was focused on was me. All she had to offer was to take care of herself. But you see, there's so much more if you take care of others. See, that's when you really start to open up. And that makes you get hurt sometimes. But that opening up is humanity. That's humanness when you serve others. This business allows you to serve others. You get life skills, because all of this rolled into one says, I don't care, I do care. But if you choose not to work for Miracle Restaurant Group next week, if you take any of this with you to your next employer, you will shine. You will be different. They will notice you. I'm assuring you that other companies don't talk to their employees like I'm trying to talk to you. Okay? So you have that opportunity. And one more thing. Only in the restaurant hospitality business can you find the opportunity to make a difference to hundreds of people. So when I was a newspaper delivery boy, I carried 100 newspapers. I impacted 100 people by delivering news to them on a daily basis, but I never really saw them until I was collecting from my newspapers. When I was a CPA, I had clients, but really I wasn't impacting my clients. I mean, I knew them and we got to know each other, but it was 20 people. But in the restaurant business, how many people go through the business every day? Some of them are repeat customers, but some of them you'll never see again. You have that moment to do something to lift their load. What if they just came from the hospital? What if they had bad news? What if they had to go home and take bad news somewhere? And they didn't know yet what to say. So they just needed a minute. Now it won't work. They just needed a minute to gather themselves, all right, before they go home. You don't know that. They won't share that with you, but that could be going on. Okay? This is an opportunity to make a difference in a small but meaningful way. You know when you've had bad service in a restaurant. Who's had bad service? Not in my restaurant, but who's had bad service in the restaurant? Right? What's that like? Right? It's horrible. Right? And you remember it. Psychologists say you remember the really good things in life and the really bad things. The stuff that are moderately good or bad, we don't really retain very long. Bad service, we remember. We remember. Great service, we also remember. And even okay service is not a bad thing as long as we're focused on the needs of the guest. So you get an opportunity to do that every day. Now let me switch to the other side of our business purpose. What do I mean by sharing the blessing of hospitality? Customers, the universe of customers, which would be you. So you could have answered the phone for this survey. They said, in order of importance, customers rank a restaurant experience by food quality first. I ordered a beef and cheddar, it better look like a beef and cheddar, it better taste like a beef and cheddar, and not be a chicken sandwich. Right? You ever get the wrong food? You're laughing. Yeah, did you ever get the wrong food in the drive-thru and be 2 miles down the road when you got the wrong food? Not fun. So customers say, food quality, got to taste right, and it's got to be accurate. Number 2. Friendliness, they've acknowledged. Friendliness is important. Speed of service is important. Who's the wealthiest guy you're aware of? Name a name.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Bob Vila.
Who?
Bob Vila.
Bob Vila? Vila?
HGTV.
HGTV, okay. Well, I'm sure he's wealthy. How many hours a day does he have? How many hours a day does he have? How many hours a day? When he wakes up, does he have 50 hours? He gets 24 hours a day. How about Bill Gates? Does he get 24 hours a day? Yeah. How about you? 24 hours a day?
I got 36.
Yeah, right. Because you move fast. But everybody else in the room has 24 hours a day. That is the great equalizer. Everybody has the same amount of time to do something in. And so, how many of you, when you're in the grocery, observe which line you're approaching in order to determine how many people are, and they got 17 items in their basket, and the cashier over here is recruit, and this one's been here all day, and then keep track of where you would have been had you been in the other line. And if they get through faster, your day is ruined. Right? Time matters. Time matters. Did you know your customers, when they're out in this line, are doing that to you? Or when they're in the drive-thru, they're thinking, oh, God, they got kids in the car. They got kids. It's Happy Meal. Right? Right? Speed's important. We want to do things quickly, but we don't want to be so rushed that it spoils the experience, meaning bad quality, inaccurate, not friendly. Then they say cleanliness. I don't know if you noticed when you came in this restaurant, this is a clean restaurant. Okay? Yeah, Jose knew we were coming, and he baked the cake. He gave a whole lot of donuts to you guys. All right? Clean is important. Lastly, facilities. How many of you went through the potholes out here? Right? When you came in? That ain't good. That's not good. That takes money to repair, and it is on my immediate list. But facilities are also important. Customers that are important. Of all of that, 1 through 6, what do you control? You control food quality?
Yes.
You control accuracy?
Yes.
How about friendliness?
Yes.
How about speed of service?
Yes.
Cleanliness?
Yes.
But you can't go out there unless I have a big truck of asphalt and make you do that. You can't clean the parking. You can't make the parking lot look better, right? So you don't really control that. But of this, you control most everything. Well, I tell you that every one of those things is demonstrating hospitality. If you get their order right, you've been hospitable. If you smile, you've been really hospitable. Whenever we meet or exceed the needs of our customers, we're demonstrating hospitality. But we're hospitable to other people too. Remember, Miracle Restaurant Group is not Arby's. We're in the Arby's business. But when we do the Arby's business well, we're being hospitable to Arby's because we don't sully the brand. You see, when someone has a bad experience at this Arby's, or when they have a bad experience in Atlanta, it's Arby's that had the bad experience. You see, so we're connected, we're affiliated. There are other franchisees. In this market, there are 5 other franchisees. So if you have a bad day, they don't know that it was Miracle Restaurant Group. They could think it's another Arby's franchisee. And so when we're hospitable to our guests, we're hospitable to all these other Arby's franchisees. Our community. Now, there are a lot of closed buildings here. There's a lot of vacancies. But I tell you, except for the parking lot, when customers come in here, they're leaving the closed stuff behind because they know that Jose has opened this store for business. This store is ready to accept customers. This store is a great place to come and have a great experience. So it's good for our community. It's good for our neighbors. And for people who may never even see us, were you all aware and were you employees when we did the last No Kid Hungry campaign where we collected money and we sold little brown bags? Years ago, Arby's was also a big donator to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Millions and millions and millions of dollars Arby's donates by putting opportunities in front of our guests to contribute and share. Okay? So we're hospitable to a lot of other people. You can be hospitable to each other too. Anybody in here ever had to work a shift where there was a no call, no show and you were there? How much fun is that? Right? It's a little more stress in the business, right? How about our attitude? You ever had to work with an employee that had a bad day? How about an employee who forgot to do whatever the forgot was? And you're the one that has to explain that. The biggest example of that is the person at the front counter who didn't make the sandwich, but has to get the complaint from the person who ate the sandwich, right? Because it was the back line that maybe made the mistake. Can that create some tension between the front line and the back line? Sure,
Yes.
it can. But do mistakes happen in life? Yes, mistakes happen. But we try to be diligent. We are also hospitable when we're eager to learn. Because if you're always asking a question and not retaining what's being told to you, then you're not being hospitable. You're being an annoyance. Right? Asking questions is good. Learning is good. Never learning, not good. Okay? So, eagerness to learn is important. Practicing hospitality at Miracle Restaurant Group can be summarized in what we call our values. And I promise I'm getting near the end, and then you get all of the Arby's training. What do I mean by values? The values and the culture of a business determine how it carries out its business from a relational and a moral point of view. Companies have personalities. Do you remember a company called Enron? Remember Enron went bankrupt. It was built on lies, and it was given a lot of the blame for creating the recession that we went through as a country 5 years ago. Enron was a personality of greed and dishonesty. There have been other companies that are like that. So the people that were in that company then also began to imitate that company. I'm sure there were a lot of good people in Enron, but the people at the top, where the fish stink, at the head, right? So it was not good. Values also provide the foundation upon which all decisions that include any element of right or wrong, fair or unfair, good or evil are reached. So a customer has a complaint. You can accept the complaint and do how we've trained you. Blast, believe, listen, apologize, suggest, and thank. Or you can cop an attitude. Okay? That's a value statement about who we are. That's a decision that had to do with fair or unfair. The customer had a complaint. How do we treat them? Right? That's where values come into play. Miracle's values, M-I-R-C-L-E. You can think of our value statements in the form of what each of those letters means. That is known as an acrostic. An acrostic. It helps us remember. Mindful. The word mindful means prudent. That's an old-fashioned word, prudent. And I didn't call us pirical. So I didn't use P for pirical, but it's miracle. Mindful means prudent. That's the ability to think through consequences. If I do this, this is going to happen, likely. That's wisdom. That's the ability to say, if I lash out, bad things are going to happen. If I let it get the better of me, bad things are going to happen. We're mindful. We think about what's going on around us. We keep our heads in the game. Integrity is just doing what you say. If I say I'm going to show up to work, I'm going to show up to work. If I say I'm going to do my whatever, I'm going to do that. Personal integrity. Reliable, same thing really. Integrity has to do somewhat with ethics Reliable has to do with doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Accountable is taking personal responsibility. Yes, I goofed. Not easy to say, but yes, I goofed is accountable. I was supposed to do, I didn't do. That's accountable. The C in miracle is for celebrate. We are going to play some games later. We're going to celebrate. In addition to donuts, we got candy. We got sugar like you wouldn't believe. We're going to do some celebration. The L for miracle is level-headed. That is when it gets difficult, when the no-call, no-show has created staff problems. There's only 3 of us. We're going to do an $800 hour, but we stay level-headed. We stay focused. We do what we're going to do. And the E is ethical. It's very important, that last one. Winning is important, but business leaders have to count the cost. Many, many companies. Do you know that the 8th most looked up word on the Merriam-Webster online dictionary is for the word integrity? Who needs to look that up? People that want to get as close to the edge without falling off, right? Integrity. You would think integrity wouldn't need us to look it up. It's the 8th most looked up word. It's an amazing thing. Winning is important, but business leaders also count the cost. Ethics are important. All right, what does success look like to me? Because I'm in the business of owning restaurants. I happen to be operating Arby's now, but I've operated many. At one time I was in the Fuddruckers business. One time I was Champs. Once I was in Rallies. Been in a lot of Popeyes. Been in a lot of businesses. What does success look like though to me? First is to be a good steward of the monetary and intellectual resources God has provided. I want to do what's right with what He has given. Being an honest employer who creates opportunities for employees, treats them with respect. We hire the right people, we coach fairly, we fully train, we pay fairly. Being a business that respects and protects its customers. Being a good franchisee and a corporate citizen. Being a business that pays its bills on time. Being a business that can give to charity. Being a business that creates good fruit. When you come to work, when you leave work, you don't leave a mess. You find some sense of joy, some sense of peace, some sense of patience, hospitality, kindness, self-control, perseverance, goodness. That while you're working for us, you begin to feel like what you do matters and building a legacy for others. Okay, nearing the end. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? With them. Foul. What's in it for me? If you get through this training, which you will, and you apply these things, there's a lot at the end for you. More opportunity for hours. The more positions you know in this restaurant, the more hours you get. If you only know a position, there's only so many hours for that position every day. But 6 positions have 6 hours every hour. Does that make sense? Because there's 6 positions, right? So if you know many of those positions, then you have more opportunity. Even if we might not have the additional hours, you can take your experience and get additional hours maybe in another company that is now looking for a more skilled set. And that's okay. Opportunity is out there and in here. This has been my last job for 15 years, but I've had a lot of jobs. I can say that almost all of them were great, okay? Because when I look back, I learned something. I took it with me, and I built on it. And for the time that I was there, I got all I could get out of it. I gave all that I could to it, and when I went on, I was better. People look for experience. They look for people that have been there before. You're going to have accomplishment and job satisfaction. When you don't have to think so much and just do, then you're able to have more fun. Okay? Job security. If you do a really good job, you ain't getting fired. Right? That's job security. You learn life skills. As I just said, you can take them with you. Specific and transferable knowledge that will help you continue to grow. Let's say you're ready to be a manager, but I don't have room for a manager. I only have 25 stores, and if you're not willing to move to Texas, that's where the next opportunity is, and so maybe I don't have that for you. But someone does. And if you can come and you can say, yeah, at Miracle Restaurant Group, I learned, and you start to talk about the things. I learned, and what I would suggest is, I learned the importance of hospitality. Now that would make someone pay attention. I learned what it takes to recover against. I learned how to make my teammates feel better. Because why? Because I'm a good person. I'm a leader. I deserve this opportunity, and they're going to hire you. Okay? Specific and transferable knowledge, and you're going to be treated fairly. But maybe most important, you'll also begin to learn that what you do really does matter in the big scheme of things. This is a great career, hospitality. It's a great career. Jose's got a great career with us, one of the best. Kristen, one of the best, wherever she's hiding. Joe and Renee. This is my son Jeremy back there. Great career opportunities in this business. And the thing about it is, I remember when I was a musician, and you laugh, but when I was a musician, I was playing in bars, and in some cases restaurants, where they would serve, they had a lounge, back in those days. Right? So I was playing, and I would be up on stage playing, and I would look out, and I would see people eating good meals, laughing, having a great time, not particularly caring whether or not the band was good, but we were pretty good, but we were contributing to that, and then paying their money and leaving. And I was going, wow, what is wrong with this picture? Nothing. What a great business. I'm not out cutthroat. I'm not out trying to just outdo. I'm just giving people a good time. I'm giving people a good time. This is a great business. And I didn't know it then, but I ended up in it. I couldn't shake that feeling that the restaurant business is a great business to make people feel good. Just unbelievable. Casinos can make people feel good until they lose. I had one of the guys I used to work for in one of the jobs that wasn't so good used to tell me that he wanted to be in the casino business because people show up and they spend all their money and they leave, and there's nobody to complain to except themselves. But to me, I'm going, whoa, that's bad. But I don't want to be in that business, right? That's not a business I want to be in. I like this business. So you have that opportunity to know that in the big scheme of things, you make a difference. Now, what do I expect from you? That was the WIFM for you. What's the WIFM for me? Your job is to smile a lot. Okay? I know it's hard. You got to learn a lot. It's a little harder, but you can learn. Show up on time. Be ready for your shift so you don't tick off your manager and all your other coworkers that are stressed out. Be nice to each other. Come on, be nice to each other. Follow the rules, don't guess. Arby's was born, when did I say? 1964. Do you think they know everything there is to know about how to do everything that's behind the kitchen in here? Yeah, we maybe don't know, but they knew, and there's ways to look it up. We don't have to guess. We just find out where the answer is. Follow the rules, don't guess, be prudent, be alert, be mindful, be ethical. And lastly, we'll take a small break as we get ready. If I can impress upon you one thing, guys, do the work. Success will elude you otherwise. The opportunity is there. Do the darn work. Do whatever it takes for you to feel successful about yourself, to feel that what you do matters. But if you don't do the work, you're the one talent person, you're the $1 million person buried within the ground. Don't do that. Joe, that's all I had. We can have a break. On to Brand Champ. How long do you want them to break?